What's up, YouTube? This is Bystanderx79, guys. Today I'm going to with my latest deck profile video for March 2022. And today, guys, we're going to be looking at my updated Phantasm Spiral Dragon deck. Now, this deck has always been a bit of a favorite of mine since it was released in Maximum Crisis. It's one of those off-beaten decks that really focuses more on vanillas and old school mechanics like normal summoning and tribute summoning and stuff like that. To be very honest, the deck works very well, and now that the last ban list gave us skill drain, it just works even better. Just establishing a board and being able to pick apart your opponent's board while protecting your own monsters, it's so awesome. I've actually tested a variant on this on Master Duel, and it can hold its own even against some of the stronger meta decks that are in the game like Drytron. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to get right into this. As always, monsters first, and we're going to do just one copy of Phantasm Spiral Dragon. All you really need is one. I've seen other decks that just run, don't even bother with this guy. Me, I like having him in the deck. He is the focus of the deck to get him out, and just having a level 8 beast stick with 2900 attack, it just works insanely well with us, especially someone from hand, deck, or graveyard based on the spell card you use. And to be honest, it does come in handy. Now, me, I like focusing more primarily on water attributes in this particular deck, so I'm running 3 copies of Kapazalus. I mean, some people will like Sabersaurus instead of this because it has higher attack, but I like focusing on the water aspect in this. Has 1700 attack, and then of course we also have 3 copies of Megalo Smasher X with its 2k attack power. And that's pretty much it for the vanilla monsters. We do run a couple of effect monsters in here. I run 3 copies of Planet Pathfinder. Planet Pathfinder, it might eat up the normal summon, but you can tribute this card off and get into your field spell. This deck really needs to get this field spell on the field ASAP. So that's the reason why we run 3 copies of Planet Pathfinder, so you can see that field spell on the field ASAP. Alright, since we're running predominantly dinosaurs in this deck, we have 3 copies of Fossil Deck, the ultra rares from the Brothers of Legend set. To help deal with background decks, we have 1 copy of Harpy Featherduster. Monster Reborn to bring back any monsters in your graveyard. We have 3 copies of the field spell Pacifist, the Phantasm City. This is the amazing field spell. Its card is always treated as Yumi. You can't normal or special summon effect monsters on the turn you activate either of these cards' effects, even if it leaves the field. Once per turn, if you normal summon or special summon one normal monster and no other cards, you could add 1 Phantasm Spiral card from your deck to your hand, which is awesome. You get to search out your spell or your traps. Also, if your opponent activates a card or effect, except for the damage threat, you can, and if you don't control any tokens, this card creates a level 8 2000 attack point Phantasm token monster, which is classified as a normal monster, which is huge, and it gives you that additional body on board, as well as an additional search if you haven't searched. I am running 1 copy of Phantasm Spiral Grip Power Boost. Any vanilla monster is equipped to by 500 attack, and then when that vanilla monster destroys one of your opponent's monsters by battle, you can special summon out the big Phantasm Spiral Dragon out onto the field and hit your opponent with 1000 points of damage. And then this card immediately equips itself to the big dragon, boosting its attack points up to 3400. So, yeah. And of course, I am running 3 copies of Piercing the Darkness, since the majority of the monsters in this deck are vanillas. This is just a natural fit. Anytime you normal special summon a vanilla monster on the field, you get the additional draw. Furthermore, in battle, it gives any vanilla monsters that extra protection with being able to power boost it by your opponent's attack, which really comes in handy. And also there's a really interesting interaction with one of the Phantasmal Spiral trap cards that you can actually utilize just to further weaken out your opponent's monster and get that extra damage in. Alright, I also run 2 copies of Pot of Duality. Once Pot of Prosperities gets reprinted, I'm definitely going to be replacing these 2 and probably 1 Pathfinder with the Pot of Prosperities. But right now, Duality is the card I like to do because you get to dig into your deck of 3 cards and pick the card you need for based on the situation, which is always good. The other board wipe in the deck, 1 copy of Raigeki. We run 1 copy of Terraforming. Help you see that fail spell. 1 copy of Unexpected Die. Helps you special summon a vanilla monster from your deck to your field. Into the traps, we got 3 copies of Phantasmal Spiral Battle. Battle is insane. As long as you have a vanilla monster on the field, you can activate this card from the field. You target 1 card on your opponent's field, destroy it. If you happen to have Yumi on the field, which is basically the pacifist, you can activate this card from your hand. Again, pop any card off your opponent's field. While this card's in your graveyard, you can actually banish it and then switch the equip that you have on the field to a different monster, which is great because you can actually then be able to power boost other monsters and help get you additional damage. And of course, we also have 3 copies of Phantasmal Spiral. Power is awesome. Again, just like Battle, as long as you have a vanilla monster on the field, you can activate this card. This will negate the monster effects of 1 monster on your opponent's field. It also reduces attack power by 1,000, which is awesome. And then, of course, while this card's in the graveyard, you can banish it and equip an equip spell from your hand or your graveyard onto a normal monster, which is huge. When you have Piercing the Darkness on the field, when you either attack or your opponent attacks, first you use Piercing the Darkness to actually increase that monster's attack, your vanilla monster's attack, and then your opponent will have a chance to respond. And then when it comes back to you, you activate Spiral Power to hit your opponent's monster to reduce its attack by 1,000. Giving you that extra damage. That's the pretty cool interaction that I discovered while playing this deck on Master Duel. Next up, we're running just 2 copies of Sea Stealth Attack. I know some people like to run this at 3. I think 2 is the best ratio, in my opinion. While this card is activated, you can activate Yumi from your hand or graveyard, so you can get Pacifist activated from the graveyard in case it gets popped. Awesome. Once per turn, you can banish 1 water monster you control until the end phase. Face-up spells and traps you control cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is awesome. It gives you a little back row protection. At the start of the damage step, if your water monster whose level is 5 or higher battles an opponent's monster, you get to destroy the opponent's monster. So you give all those high-level water monsters, either the big dragon or the tokens, the ability, like Allied Justice Catastrophe, to pop monsters automatically, which is awesome. You can get rid of some problematic cards. The thing about it is that if you have the equip spell equipped to it, to the token, you're not going to be able to summon the big dragon. So just keep that in mind. And next up, we got 3 copies of Skill Drain. I can't tell you how good this card is in this deck. You never could go wrong with this card. And now that we have had multiples, is just sick. On field, all monster effects are negated, so it does shut down a lot of your different opponent's effects, and reduces the risk of your opponent interfering with any of your plays, whether it be from your traps or your spells. And last but not least, I do run 2 copies of Solemn Judgment in this deck. It just says no to your opponent. Not really that much of a combo-oriented deck, so you don't have to worry about it, but Solemn Judgment is definitely a worthwhile card in this. Just being able to get a summon or a spell or trap effect, or spell or trap card, excuse me, is just worthwhile in this deck. Okay, that's it for the main deck, 40 cards. We're going to go into the extra deck. Now, the thing about the extra deck is that you don't really need this, but it's there in case you do want to extend into it. Another thing you want to be careful of is that since you have to be controlling only normal monsters to really activate the Phantasmal Spiral trap cards, so just be careful. If you haven't activated your trap cards and you summon this, you're not going to be able to utilize those trap cards. Typically, if the game goes long and I need to do other plays and most of my trap cards are in the graveyard, yeah, I will extend into the extra deck then. So, but also I don't like useless cards in my extra deck, so I try to pick the best ones that can really help this deck out. So, Abyss Dweller, awesome shutdown graveyard effects, as well as a power boost all water tribute monsters by 500 attack, as long as you have water or tribute monsters as Xyz materials for this. I do have Castell, the Sky Blaster Musketeer. Very awesome card. Either flip cards face down or bounce cards off the field. We have one copy of DAIGUSTO Emerald. Emerald can target 3 monsters in your deck, in your graveyard, to shuffle back into the deck and draw a card. Meaning part of Harvest effect is always good. Or you can actually special summon a vanilla monster from your graveyard to the field. And FYI, there is no level restriction on this. So you can actually get the big dragon back onto the field as well. This deck does run dinosaurs. We are running the Volzor package. We got Logia as well as Dolka. Very awesome cards. Dolka is basically essentially a walking monster effect negate, and it's not a hard once per turn. Logia is essentially a walking Silent Judgment, so you're running 3 Silent Judgments in this deck. One copy of Dagares. Depending on what phase you skip on your next turn, depends on what you can get. You skip your next draw phase, you get to draw 2 cards and discard 1. If you skip your next main phase, you can special summon a monster from your graveyard in defense position, or if you skip the next battle phase, you can double the attack of one of your monsters on the field. And of course, if any of your Xyz monsters battles during the course of your turn, you can always then overlay into Zeus. Zeus has this nasty little quick play effect where it can just send anything. I mean, send all the cards on the field to the graveyard, which is awesome for just clearing the field. I am running one copy of number 27 Dreadnoid. Very interesting machine type card. During the battle phase, if this card is destroyed an opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon from your extra deck 1 rank 10 or higher machine Xyz monster by using this face-up card you control as material. Okay. Alright, and this card, you can only use this effect of the card once per turn, and if this card will be on the field will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can actually attach a material to protect it. And of course, one of the other machines I am running is I do run the Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Leap. Just an amazing little OTK beast with 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense before he uses its effect. Okay, other rank 4 stuff I included. I do run the Utopia package. Again, rank 4 is just natural fit. Being able to attack over any of your opponent's monsters. And of course, I do also run the F0 package, Utopia Future and Draco Future, in this deck. If you get 2 other non-number Xyz monsters, you can bring out Future and then overlay into Draco. I do run a couple of links. They're not really that important in this deck, but they could help out depending on your situation. Link Spider can actually bring out another level 4 or lower vanilla monster onto your field. Of course, you're going to be giving up the ability to utilize your traps, so just be careful with that. Cross Shape. If you see something, you can reduce the power of your opponent's monster if you just have Xyz monsters on the field. just a few extra plays. But like I said, they're not really that important in this deck. Alright guys, that is it for my updated Phantasmal Spiral Dragon deck for March 2022. Guys, I do hope you enjoyed this deck profile. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe and enable the notifications so you don't miss any uploads. Check out the description box below. Find an invite link to my Discord server. Join the conversation. We'll love to have you. Check out my affiliate link when shopping on tcgbuy.com. Great way to support the channel. Follow me on social media and on Master Duel. All the information is in the description box below. And guys, until next time, peace.